Welcome back to my channel, My Fish and I. Today's topic will be discussing all you need to know about African cichlids. African cichlids are categorized of cichlids that inhabit three African lakes: Lake Malawi, Lake Tanganyika, and Lake Victoria. These natural inhabitants have warm, clear, sandy substrates, lots of vegetation, high density of fresh water fish. Most African cichlids live in the shallow of these inhabitants where they scavenge for food. Now let's get into it. As you can see, I own many African cichlids. I actually own cichlids from all three lakes. In this video you see the Obi peacock, you see yellow lab, and yellowtail ACI. Adult size and lifespan. A fully grown African cichlid can reach between 2 to 12 inches long, depending on the type of African cichlid that it is. The longest African cichlids are the big mouth haps, which grow up to 12 inches. Maltese are the smallest one, which stay pretty small, shell dwellers. They reach around 2 inches when fully grown. African cichlids are a diverse group of fish, available in all varieties, size, color patterns, and fin styles. The most common type of African cichlids in their appearance are peacocks. Peacocks are usually bright red, blue, gold, purple bodies. Mabunas, blue, yellow, orange bodies with horizontal black stripes on their heads and vertical black stripes on their bodies. Frontosas, light blue or whitish and gray body with 5 or more black vertical stripes. The majority of African cichlids have albino variants as well, with pinkish white, yellowish whitish body and red eyes. Male African cichlids are bolder and brighter than the female, especially during breeding season. Female have rounder bellies than males. When viewed from above, adult cichlids become duller when they're exposed to poor water conditions. To keep those water clean, those ammonia levels down, and nitrate level intact. African cichlids are mouth breeder and samstrate spawners. Mouth breeders, the females usually incubate the eggs in her mouth, and she releases the males, and the male fertilizes them, and she gather it back in their mouth and keep it till they hatch. Previous clip was showing the ACI that was pregnant. Now you see some babies hatch. After the baby is ready, she spits it out and guard them with their life. I usually notice after I do a water change, it give them the behavior to want to spawn. What I do is I take out the pregnant female and I put it in a tank of its own, and once it spit out the baby, I just return her, feed her, and return her to the main tank. These are some babies, Obis. Also, the next African cichlids or tropheids, but tropheids are known to have Mawali bloat because they're mainly vegetable eaters. So if you have these, please keep them on a straight vegetable diet and you'll be fine without that. Some of the other disease that African cichlids suffer with are cotton wool disease, ick, but they're resilient fish. So it's important to keep your tank very clean, and overstocking the tank means you have to do a lot of maintenance. They're rewarding fish to keep. I love keeping them, and I hope you enjoy your African cichlid journey. The typical behavior I notice when the higher the temperatures, like if I have my temperature in the 30s, it's sun, in the summertime when it gets hot in the home, they're more aggressive. So I try to keep my temperature a little lower in the 24 degrees, 23, 24 degrees, and I realized that it reduced the aggression a lot. Also, it's very important to overstock the tank, therefore the fish can, they're cichlids, so they're going to be aggressive from time to time, but when they have more than one person to target, it shares spread out the aggression, and you lose less fish that way. Never introduce one fish to your group, because they will gang upon it and they will kill it. So I usually just either do it at night and add around 3 fish and change over the decoration so the fish can at least get some time to get accumulated to the environment in the tank, and everybody's busy trying to figure out their whole pecking order. They're always gonna be a tank boss and always gonna be fighting for dominance. That's what kinda enjoy about the fish. In the wild, African cichlids typically live in warm, tropical water of the Lake of Africa. These lakes have sandy substrate with lots of open space, small rocks, and underwater vegetation. So set up your tank accordingly to closely replicate these habitats in the wild, and it will help you to have some hardy plants. And find the plant that survive is Anubias. They'll bite the leaves, but they typically just leave it alone. Calvus and compressor sets kind of breed differently. They breed in the shell, so the female will go in the shell and the male will fertilize the eggs outside the shell. So usually in that setup you need some shell in those inhabitants if you're trying to breed these fish. They also have a lean, slender body, so they're very good at decimate any small fish that you have in the tank. So these are fry killers. So if you don't want them to eat your fries or have little fish like guppies like that, they're gonna eat them. So you gotta keep them. You can keep them with fish that's bigger than them, and fish that you don't really want to breed, because these guys are very good at hunting down fries and eating them. That's what they do in the wild. But they're some of the most beautiful fish. They're not as aggressive as the other African cichlids. They usually, I noticed that they have their aggression towards their own. That's the compressor set and the Calvus. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of yellow labs. I started off with 6 in this tank, and they just breed. Even though there's so much fish in there, because they have so much rocks and hiding places, the baby will survive. Even if you look on your left, you see a little baby there hiding between the rocks. Very smart, and once they get big enough, they'll come out and swim with the adults like nothing happened. So the end and all, African cichlids are beautiful. They come in all shape, form, and colors. I think they even rival some of the saltwater fish. A lot of people, when they come to my house, they said, "Are those saltwater fish?" I said, "No, they're just those Africans." Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm just gonna let it roll through so you can see some more clips of my cichlids. Thank you. Please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you very much.